Hey guys, how are you? This is Doc Franchise, John Wilson, coming to you again, talking to you about franchising. I started a series of, um, of talking points to discuss kind of the do's and don'ts of what to look for when you investigate a franchise. Last time my discussion was make sure that you start with the foundational information. When you start to investigate a franchise opportunity, get firsthand information to begin with. Start with what the franchise company is looking for, what they're about, what the profile of their successful franchisees are, according to their information. Talk to a franchise consultant. I recommend several companies that have excellent franchise consultants. FranChoice, FranNet, the Entrepreneur Source, or sometimes they're known as TES, and Matchpoint. Those are all great franchise consulting firms. All of them have people that are incredibly high caliber, knowledgeable franchise folks. They've been in the business, they understand the business, and they've done the right work on the front side for you already in investigating franchises before they will actually recommend them to you. You can come to a franchise consultant, ask them about the business, and they'll be able to tell you about what their findings are, whether this is a franchise company that you want to be involved with or perhaps not. The second point that I wanted to make is today's point, and that is this, is talk to present owners of the franchise. Ask them questions. The franchisees are the ones that are on the firing line every day. They're the ones that are out there doing the business. Ask them how they feel about their decision. Ask them whether they would do it again. Are they progressing as anticipated when they began? What were the surprises, and what would they, and what would they do differently, knowing what they know now? Inquire if the franchise company is responsive to their needs and whether the training was adequate. It's important to determine the integrity of the franchisor in following through on promises. So in order to understand whether they provide strong initial support when you're first getting started, when it's most crucial. And do they supply them with immediate technical assistance when challenges arise? So that's really critical today as we develop more and more capability on statistical analysis. Is the franchise company keeping up with that? And find out what the top values that they are receiving as a franchisee from this franchise company is. I think those are really crucial elements to find out. I always find it amusing when people would ask me when I was a franchisee, hey, what do you think about your franchise company? And then when I would give them sort of the information they needed, they would ask silly questions about it. Focus on the base core components of the business. But remember something else. Talk to franchisees that are both successful and franchisees that are not successful. Um, Here is a critical point I'm going to tell you. If this is a franchise and they've been around a while and they have successful franchisees, that is who you want to emulate. And no offense, but that's like duh. You need to understand those people. You need to understand the ones that are failing for two reasons. Number one, do you align with their challenges? Because if you do, it might not be a franchise for you. But number two, I would suggest going back to the successful franchisees and saying, hey, listen, I talked to so-and-so. They say they're not doing so well. They're struggling. What can you tell me about their situation without being, too invasive, kind of thing. Franchisees know each other in a system. And if there's failures and if there's great successes, well, guess what? You've got life. And that's what franchising is. It's a microcosm of what real life is about. Normally, franchises follow the 80-20 rule. Sometimes it's 90% are successful. But sometimes people just aren't happy with the success they've received. I've had people say, I hate it, it's horrible, it's awful. I'm only making 200 grand a year. That sucks. Well, that's because they came from a life where they made 350 grand a year. For most people, making $200,000 a year would be immensely, amazingly wonderful, wouldn't it? So point number two is make sure that you go out and you talk to the present owners of the franchise to see what their experience is. Number one was investigate franchise opportunities by going firsthand and getting the information, the foundational information about the franchise. Hey, my name is John Wilson. You can find me also at docfranchise.blogspot.com. Now, Doc Franchise is docfranchise.blogspot.com. I hope to see you next time. Take care.